This isn't the one more change I was talking about. There it is. Invisible chests. Yeah, this isn't the change I was talking about when I mentioned there's one more beyond the Fire Temple music and the change in the Gerudo symbol. Because this is still the Gerudo symbol. But with the mirror shield, we can now reflect light. And that makes the light puzzles a lot simpler. I say that there's still some mirrors that we have to use to set up the light so we can reflect it with the shield in specific ways. That's the key to get through here. And now this is kind of funny. Alright, they won't spot me here. The idea is you climb up here along as they move, and it's all puzzling, but with the long shot you can really just go straight to the top. Considering how much other stuff the developers, I think foresaw would be the best word, to prevent you from having an easy way around like that, it's weird that that's still there. Where does this lead? Right, so this is a dead end, but it has a chest. What's the chest? Oh, it's this room. This is required, yeah. And the slugmas. One of these fake doors, and it's interesting that we see both the slugmas return and the fake doors. One of them has a switch behind it and one needs to shoot. And I think it's the one over here. This one. There we go. And that makes a second block appear. So we can use the long shot and get up there, hit this switch, which turns that off, and now we can get the boss key. And this is the essential. This is why we have to be in here. I was looking at this room on the map and I was thinking, is this something I need to go through? In fact, you know, it wasn't even on the map. I was looking at it out here and thinking, is that a room I need to go into? But I'm glad that I did. Yeah, really does pay when you're not sure. Really does pay to just check everything. Like, even though I've played this plenty of times before, there's a bunch of sequences that I do just forget. I think this is going to be the only time we'll see Lizalfos as an adult. Put the sword away. I mean, there we go, that should be good. Need to be further back, apparently. That good? There we go. Is that another booby trap chest? Oh no, it's bombs. I guess just in case you didn't have any bombs. Yeah, I guess in case you didn't have any bombs when you went in that room, because you need the bombs to break the fake doors. Okay, push this over here. So the silver gauntlets allow us to pick up stuff and push stuff that we couldn't before because it was too heavy. However, it doesn't make it any easier to push stuff that we could already push. Figure that out. And here we are. This is the only time we encounter Lizalfos as an adult. And that should do it. Yep. Alright, let's go do this. because now we're about to head to the boss. Watch out for all the flying jars that can't hit me anyway because they're terrible shots. Grab that magic. And that lowers the platform. And it's revealed that the entrance to the boss is right over here. You know, this is weird. I'm sure the shield's supposed to reflect just off your back. And it's not doing it. It's really weird. Yeah, aim the light at the face. Now this is the only time anything like this appears, and it's a hookshot target. Which you'd be forgiven for not actually knowing. Here we go. I don't have the Master Sword equipped. It's the witches that kidnapped Nabooru. Koume and Kotake. And a unique iron knuckle. The model of this is actually different from all the others. This is a unique design iron knuckle. Strange bit of humour there. And if we examine it, not an ordinary enemy. But it works like a standard iron knuckle. If anything, I think this one might actually be a little easier. No. There we go. Takes more hits than the standard, but knocking its armour off is the end of the fight. And it's revealed that it was Nabooru the entire time. But 7 years have passed, so shouldn't she be not a little girl? If she was a little girl 7 years ago, and she was still the leader of the Gerudo then... They brainwashed her. So that wasn't the real boss. It's interesting as an idea that you have the boss room and it has a sub-boss before you fight the real boss. No, I'll keep the bigger and sword on actually. Because Koume gave us the information we actually need to do this. And it involves reflecting magic back at the sisters with the mirror shield. And if we have the bigger and sword out, we can't access the mirror shield, but if we put it away, then we can. Here we go. The Witch of Fire. The Witch of Ice. Koume and Kotake. Together become Twinrova. Alright, so the first half of this fight is actually really awkward. Okay, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it? Come. Oh boy. There we go. So now we'll reflect the fire magic in the ice witch. The trick is, we got lucky with the positioning there. The positioning can be really awkward. So this can take a while. Damn it. Yeah, so the Z target isn't always the best idea for this. If you don't Z target, you can aim with the shield. There we go. This positioning doesn't help. Damn it. They're moving together as the attacks end. No, there they go. They're moving apart now. Yeah, it wasn't good. You'd hope that you'd be able to use the fire arrows on the ice witch. And if you'd gone for them, the ice arrows on the fire witch, but you can't. Is that enough? No, it might be one more. Oh, this is going to be interesting. There we go. There we go, that's it. And now we have phase 2. The real form of Twinrova. Not actually their real form, but this is the real boss fight. And so the trick changes here. We need to catch 3 bolts of magic. And the real problem is when she decides to not give you the magic you need. I think the first time is always guaranteed to be 3 of the magic. Is to be guaranteed to be 3 magic. 3 of the same magic. But after that, it can get awkward. Okay, so she's going to throw ice magic. So now we've stored an ice magic, we want 2 more ice magic. And another ice magic. Come on, give me another. Nope. And that's the real danger of the fight. Because you don't want to catch those when it's not the magic you want. And the area of effect of the spells when they hit the ground is actually pretty big. Wow, I didn't last anywhere near as long as I was expecting. I got pretty lucky with that. If she wants to be awkward, that can take ages. So this has been a joke in the Zelda fan community for a long time. They're bad guys, but they have halos. They're going to heaven. I think more than anything, rather than them going to heaven, particularly the halos and the fact that they go up, I think it's more just a Japanese mentality of how death is represented like that. Dragon Ball Z does something similar. If a dead person appears on Earth in Dragon Ball Z, they have a halo. Whether they were good or bad. So like Vegeta appears later on. After Vegeta dies, sacrificed himself to Majin Buu. When he appears later on Earth, even though he was told he wouldn't go to heaven like Goku, or he wouldn't get to keep his body, when he appears with his body, he has a halo. And I think the same is true of Frieza at one point in Dragon Ball Super. Meanwhile, at the Chamber of Sages... Oh no, the Spirit Medallion in the Chamber of Sages is between water and shadow. That's interesting. And Nabooru is the Sage of Spirit, because who else was it really going to be? I wouldn't say competent. Mostly just swing my sword at stuff until it dies. Yeah, for 7 years. I wonder what kind of horrible stuff she had to do during those 7 years while she was brainwashed. Unless it took them 7 years to brainwash her. Yeah, she did promise to give us something nice if we got the Spirit Gauntlets. But, I mean, she wanted the Spirit Gauntlet. She wanted us to give her the Spirit Gauntlets, and we're not doing that, so I'd say she doesn't really have to keep the promise to give us something nice anyway. But that's the final stage. It's weird that Nabooru didn't age at all, as far as you can tell, in the 7 years. Especially since it's implied she's kind of young anyway. That's the 6 sages awakened. Temple of Time. And so this really is going to be endgame now. So let's head to the Temple of Time. And see who's waiting for us. Sheik. Yeah, that's me. Yep, I totally did. Gotta take down Ganondorf. Okay. And this is the final piece of the Triforce legend that actually kind of surprised me as a kid, because it was an interesting concept, but it did exist before this game. So that is probably a reference to A Link to the Past, with the Sacred Realm being the Dark World, the dark reflection of Hyrule, because Ganon took control of the Triforce. Triforce balances 3 forces: power, wisdom, courage. If one's heart is not in balance, the Triforce separates into 3 pieces: power, wisdom, courage. Now that was an interesting thing to me as a kid, but it is an idea that existed before this. The original Zelda had 2 pieces of the Triforce. Ganon had the Triforce of Power, and the quest Link was on was to find the pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom that Zelda had separated, to keep the Triforce of Wisdom from falling into Ganons hands. Zelda 2 added the 3rd Triforce piece, the Triforce of Courage, which Link needed to awaken Zelda. And so it was an interesting thing to find out as a kid that this game did. That there were the 3 pieces of the Triforce, the separate aspects, but it did exist before this. It's just that power, wisdom, and courage weren't mentioned in Link to the Past. So Ganondorf has only had a 3rd of the power. The interesting thing is, the later games in the series suggest the Triforce of Power is actually the strongest piece. Like, individually, the strongest piece is the Triforce of Power. And to face off against the Triforce of Power requires the combined might of both the Triforce of Courage and the Triforce of Wisdom. The 7th Sage. So, Sheik, I have a question. Huh. Ah, you were Zelda the entire time. Oh, that answers my question. So this is a big twist, but, you know, if you've played Smash at any point since Melee, this twist has probably been spoiled for you. Yeah, what did he get out of that? Because, like, you fled, you had the Ocarina with you. If you hadn't thrown the Ocarina to me, even if he'd figured out that I had the 3 spiritual stones and taken them from me, because let's be fair, I couldn't have done anything against that anyway. I was not wearing that shield at that time. I was wearing the Deku shield. But yeah, like, he didn't get the Ocarina of Time. If you hadn't thrown the Ocarina to me, I couldn't have opened the door of time. Ganondorf couldn't have opened the door of time if he took the 3 spiritual stones from me. And you remained successfully in hiding. So if you hadn't given me the Ocarina of Time, then Ganondorf wouldn't have got the Triforce. Yeah, the twist nobody could have saw coming, that I would be trapped in the Sacred Realm for 7 years. And so it's the interesting twist that I do actually quite like. The hubris and arrogance of a child who thought she knew enough actually caused the entire problem. And it's an interesting twist, particularly in Japanese media where children tend to be the characters who will solve everything and save the world, that the hubris and the arrogance of the child who thought she knew everything essentially contributed to the world's downfall. And now we just have to put the pieces together to fix it. And we get the last of the arrows. Oh, I forgot I didn't do the Gerudo training grounds. We're gonna have to go and do those. I knew I'd forgotten something when I was playing the Prelude of Light. The light of evil, the light of justice will smite evil, light of evil. You know, it's a good thing she gave it to us right then, because immediately after she gives it to us, this happens. How is she a traitor? But yeah, the minute she revealed herself, Ganondorf immediately caught her. There is, however, one thing Ganondorf overlooked. If he'd made this crystal a little bit bigger and captured us as well, that'd be it. Well, Zelda can wait. Let's go and do the Gerudo training grounds.